Hi, welcome to Cooking with Ava. Today we're going to do one super local candy toffee, which is also good for business as usual. And this is the NIDO Toffee. Yes, this is NIDO Toffee. This has a little bit of technique, which you have to watch out for it, and it has a lot of flavor as well. So this is technically almost 2 cups of sugar in there. You can check the description button from the quantities, and you add in a little bit of water, and you want this to actually melt to form how do you call it, the sugar base or sauce for it. Because at the end of the day, you can't do local candies without the sugar. Most of our local candies all have the sugar, or our local toffees. And so the main thing is you want to really melt this for you to get that very thick consistent sugar in there. The sugar has to be well melted. If it's not well melted, Charlie, your toffee, no, it will be something else. It's just going to be flaky in there. So this really has to melt. You need to get your heat low, constant heat all through and through. Yes, if you start very high, the sugar is going to turn brown. You think it's done, but it's not well melted. So when it gets to this um stage, you realize that the sugar is very much well melted. You can see it's very much liquid, very much the color so a little bit of water in as well, and then your milk powder goes in there. The local name for this, some call it the nut, because sometimes the milk powder that is used, this is usually the local milk powder. You can use any milk powder of your choice, whether you're going to buy the store-bought milk powder or the local ones they sell in the market. Any milk powder is going to do. If you are lactose intolerant, then please, you may have to find an alternative, but this is milk powder, this dairy based milk powder which is being used, and you're just going to mix it into the sugar base quickly, and you have to like clean it to make sure that everything forms beautifully, and then you roll it into a big bowl. You divide it into small pieces, and then you roll it out as well. So this is a bit easy, but it's technical, because if your sugar base does not form properly, you are in trouble. If the milk base is also well mixed, you're in trouble. So this is one local toffee recipe, which is like so interesting. Yes, in the local palanquin, some call it dinata, because why like here do ya tono ebekasa but just that's just by the way. But the reality is, mostly because they use a local milk powder, and the local milk powder has, I don't know, it comes with a lot of gas in it. I don't know how and why. Yes, maybe because it's also exposed to air or something, I don't know. But most people also refer to this affectionately as the nuts as well. Yes, they know themselves. So yes, you're going to roll this out, and once it's done rolling out, you're going to also end up cutting it, and then it's good for the table. It's a good dessert. It's a good, that thing. And this is protein. Don't forget that milk is good for calcium, for kids whose bones and things are forming. And so if you have kids at home, instead of giving them just any type of candy, you can give them healthy local candies like these, which actually helps their growth as well, because this is milk, and you realize that this one, the sugar is not so much in there, and so when you taste it, you feel just milkiness in there as well. So this is actually the way to go this year. This NIDO Toffee, dear Charlie, is a 5-star. And shout outs to my cousin, Sister Abba, yes, Auntie Sissy. Thank you very much for this video, yes. So she taught me this, and then I videoed this from here as well. So this is what she does as well, and it's a good snack. If you want some, just let me know. I'll let you know how to get it. So yes, this is very easy, but it's very technical. Like I said, if your sugar and things go wrong, you are in trouble. Once you're done, you can cut it into the sizes that you want, and yes, it's a good business as well. So this is the local NIDO Toffee, aka the nut toffee, aka a kind of simple. Let me know the names you call it, or when you're young, how you were calling it. Let me know in the description button. So once this is done being cut, there's a bit of the NIDO powder you have to retain, like just a small quantity, a tablespoon or two, and you need to mix it around it. This will keep it dried as well, or keep the outside dry. Yes, you don't want water or any oil stuff to go through it, so it gets sticky or anything like that. And then we are good for packaging. Yes, you have to package this out. And I like to keep it in the Ziploc pouches as well for my consumption as well. So yes, you can do this, and this is decent and neat for sale if you want to go into business with it. This is also very tasty and nutritious. So this is one healthy local toffee. I'd really like you to give it a try. I'm going to teach you how to make this local condensed milk candy. And for this condensed milk candy is very easy to make. It's very cheap to make. It's good business to make as well. So you need a bit of margarine or butter or fat in your pan so that it doesn't really stick into the pan. That's the main idea about it. But some use extra margarine. It depends on you, but the main idea is you don't want it to stick in, and you pour in your condensed milk to it. So the thing about condensed milk is milk and sugar, and so you don't need to add in any other sugar as well. But the thing is, these days, some of the condensed milk, Charlie, is just sugar and corn. You don't fill the milk in. So sometimes, if you're not using good condensed milk or it's not too milky in the taste, what you can also do is that as you're pouring in the condensed milk, you can add some evaporated milk to it as well. That gives you that milkiness in there as well. So you're just going to really mix this in one direction till it forms into the candy. You can't go how do you call it, clockwise and go anti-clockwise. You have to choose the flow you want to go with, and you be consistent with it. So as you stir and as it's heating up, it's going to form, you're going to get a bubbly stuff. You're going to get this becoming double, because milk, as it's heating up, you're going to get that thing in there. But as you're stirring, it's going to be forming into the candy for itself. So this condensed milk toffee thing, honestly, is good business to go in. The only thing is that, Charlie, the heat that comes with it when you are done, like when you are done 4 minutes, the rolling out, that is where the stress is. But there's one cheap and easy recipe to go with. And for this, you know that your milk comes with your sugar, and so the cost is kind of relatively easy and better. And so when you sell this, you're going to make some good money on it as well. So like I said, you're doing a candy, and so you need to stir this in one direction all through and through, and you need to make sure that at the end of the day your candy forms perfectly. If it's going to form perfectly, you don't need to let it stop. You need to continue and consistently mix it till it is done. If you stop or pause, you're going to have issues with your candy. That is the reality of it. So as it's forming, the color is going to change. Yes, the color is going to change as it's forming. Where they are color ebesisa. So you're just going to keep mixing till it gets to that point where you see that the thing is very thick. It's kind of gummy, like a so. That is where you know that your toffee is actually what done. Now the thing is, when it's on fire, it's going to be soft, but once it comes to the table and it begins to cool, it's going to firm up or harden up. And so if you want it to get hard in the saucepan, don't lie to yourself. You end up just getting it overly brown, and then you're going to have some issues afterward. So the thing is, once it's thick enough like this, then you know we are good to go. If you don't want it too brown too, once it's thickened up, you don't need to let it be on fire for long so that you don't get it overly brown as well. So it depends on how you want it and then how you let it be. But at this point, it is virtually done. At this point, you can even see it from the looks that it is done. So on my table, which is for that, is meant for that purpose, I'm just going to grease it with margarine or butter, whatever you want to do it with. And shout out to my family folks. So this one, I had to do the recording, and my niece had to help me out. Mommy, for shout outs to her. And my auntie came to help us with the rolling because it was very hot, sweetheart, very very hot. So shout out to Susu and the family folks as well. And yes, cooking with Abba is very much grateful. So at this point, once it's taken out, what matters is to roll it out. Yes, you really want to roll this out to get it well, stretched. Yes, and then once it's done rolling, or once you're done rolling them out, you'd have to cut them up. So if you don't cut this thing quickly too, it hardens up, and once it hardens, it becomes very hard for you to cut it. And so you can use your scissors to cut it into any shape of your preference. And for me, I think I like the square kind of ones. Those are easy to also eat in your mouth as well. But for those who say usually like the elongated ones, and on looking for so. And for me, I like to keep them in these paper pouches as well, and which is also good for business. If you want to sell this, sell it in a very nice way. Don't sell it in rubber and all those ones. Yes, be eco-friendly, be sustainable minded. So yes, this is my condensed milk toffee recipe. Very simple, very easy, and I hope you do give it a try. I hope you do like it. Give me a thumbs up if you did, and let me see you in the next food video. But till I see you then, be joyous, be merry. Lots of love for my team and I. Wow.